Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how I edit a simple green screen talking head video. These are pretty common. We use these just to send privately to certain groups. So sometimes we will send these kinds of things out to our church, sometimes to our staff, our team leaders, different things like that. So I wanted to show you guys how I edit a simple green screen video and how we put these out. I'm going to be using Davinci Resolve today. You can do this in Premiere Pro, but I like to use Davinci because it has a pretty good workflow when it comes to the green screen. Davinci has gotten a lot better. It's actually a free program that you can download. You don't have to pay for it. Now, if you want certain features, there is a paid version, but right out of the gate, it's actually free. So if you aren't able to pay for something monthly, I highly recommend getting Davinci Resolve. So, but for this, I already have a project set up for it. And I'm going to just go ahead and open it up. And just going to delete the previous footage because we don't need that. Okay, and then I'm going to come over to our Finder and pick one of our videos. We just did one for Thanksgiving and we did one for Christmas. So I'll probably use the one for Christmas, which is this one. And I'm just going to drag and drop it into the bin. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on each and every detail, but I just want to show you kind of what I do for a simple video when editing and just getting it out. So we'll drag it into our timeline. And we shoot everything now in 4K or higher. And the reason we do that is just because the resolution is a lot better. It allows us to zoom in or zoom out if we need to. And so for this, I'm probably going to scale it down and we'll just bring it down so that we see the entire frame just like that. Okay, so you can see I have the green screen behind him just in our little makeshift studio that we have at the office. And so the first thing that we're going to go to do is come over to our color editing wheel here. And I don't think I shot it in RAW. No, I didn't, but that's okay. Actually, we'll come over here to this one, which I believe is called Fusion. Right here, I'm going to search for Delta Keyer. And we're going to drag it and we're going to put it right in here. Okay, then it brings up this panel. And so this is the key. So what we need to do is pick the background color. So what we're going to do is pick a spot on this that looks pretty good and it's pretty even. And so I usually like to go pretty close to where they are. Not that it actually makes a difference, but we got that. And then what we'll do is we'll come over now to the matte. But in order to see the matte finish, we're going to come over to matte. So now we have this look. So what we're doing is we're going to try to make this as white as possible and this as dark and black as possible. As you can see that it's got, grain kind of look. Doesn't mean it's actually grain on the video, but we need to key it out more. So we'll come down here to threshold. We're going to bring the low up so you can see how it's starting to take the black out. And then in this area, we want this to be the high, which is the white. We want it to be as white as possible. So now we have this almost perfect clean cut silhouette. So let's switch our view back over to final result. And there we go. We've got a nice cutout. Now what we have to do is we have to get rid of this transparent background and then get rid of this background. So what we're going to do is put a mask around him. And this works really well because he's seated, he's not moving. If somebody is standing and moving a lot, you have to make sure that your green screen is going to cover the entire area that the person is going to be operating in. Because when you mask it out and say his hand comes over here and I've got it masked out for this, well, his hand's going to get cut off in the final result. So let's come over to color, and over here in the color correction node, what we're going to do is add alpha out. So it's going to add this blue. So now we're going to drag up and drag down. So we have our alpha out connected. Then we're going to add a mask here. And I'm just going to make it square. You have different options. You can use a circle, square. You can use the pen tool to get really fine details, but I'm just going to use the default square. So now you can see it's cut out a lot. So we just want to put it, drag around to the edge. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the feather. We want that. Yep. So there we go. Just drag it off the screen. And there we go. Okay, awesome. We could make this a little bit higher just in case he moves up and down, but this should be good. All right, so now we're gonna come back to our main timeline, and you can see he is masked out completely. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add, since this is a Christmas greeting for a specific group, we're going to add a background so it fills it. So I'm going to come down to Discord, and I'm going to use the software program by Midjourney. And I've already made a couple, but I can show you what it does. It's AI, and I have told AI what I want it to generate. And since it's a Christmas video, I figured it would be nice if it was something warm. Looks like it's in a living room, a nice setting. And so you can pick and choose different ones that you want to use. I think I'll probably go with this one. I like this one because the lighting looks pretty good and it seems to kind of match him with the lighting. His lighting's kind of flat, but this seems to have a pretty nice lighting. So if I want this one, and I might do a separate video on just using AI and creating backgrounds, but for this video, I'm just going to upscale this. It's going to generate. And then we have our nice Christmas background. Now I'll open it up and we're going to use it and drop it in behind him. So I'm going to just put it on the desktop, and then I'll come back over to Davinci and come to our Finder, desktop. Then I'm just going to drag this into the bin. Now you're going to notice right away, I'm going to put that up there. You'll notice right away that it's probably going to be too small. See there? Now, in this instance, you can kind of get away with it because we're going to manipulate it a little bit. But if you needed images to be a lot bigger with still showing kind of fine detail, I would recommend using this program called Topaz AI. Basically, what it will do is it take any image that you have, not just AI images, but any image that you have, you put it in here, and it will make it larger. I guess for the sake of this video, I'll just go ahead and show you. So here's that. I'm going to drop it in. And you have the option to be able to resize it, you know, half the size bigger, 2 times bigger, 4, 6. 4 is fine with me. I like to keep it on standard. Other ones you can use if you want to. It gives you a little preview of what it is, but standard is fine. You have other settings, you don't have to do that. And you can see down here what the scale is. Right now it's 1536 by 768. It's going to upscale it to 6144 by 3072. This is way above the 4K resolution that we need, which is perfect because we're actually going to downscale it. So we'll just go ahead and hit save. Save it as a JPEG, maximum quality is fine. Keep it in the same source and hit save. Okay, and we're gonna open it and there's our new one right there. So I'm just gonna rename it and say Christmas BG. I'm gonna drag it over. Now, gonna get rid of that one and we're gonna bring this one in and you'll be able to see immediately way bigger. Okay, but we want to scale it down. We don't want it that large. So, gonna scale it, but it gives us room to play with it now. So if I wanted it larger, I can go larger. I tend to like things kind of far back, so it gives some realistic depth to it, but we're gonna adjust the color and everything so it looks nice and clean. Okay. So let's go over to our color tab and we are just going to select him. And so what I'm probably going to do is just adjust some of the curves. Probably going to bring the Tart S down some. So you can see just adding color adjustments, even a nice S curve like this makes it look 100% better already. All right, so I'm probably gonna just warm it up a little bit with the temperature, kind of match our background some, so it actually looks like he's kind of there. You can bring shadows, highlights, saturation, detail. You might bring some shadows down a little bit. And then we're gonna go to our background and then we're gonna adjust this. Let's give it a better look. There we go. So with the background, I like to bring it back or just make it darker because we want him to be the main subject. We don't want our subject competing with our background. He's the primary focus, so we want him to stick out the most. So bring it down, make it nice and cozy, like it's Christmas. Bring it up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Looks okay. And then I'm actually going to come back here and I'm just going to drop the opacity of the whole thing. Just to really set it back down in there. Awesome. Well, next, what I like to do is add a blur because I don't want it truly in focus, because when you're actually using a camera and you're focused in, the background is usually out of focus. So to create that look, I'm using Gaussian blur. I'm going to drag it on there. Now that's too out of focus, so we just need to dial it back and then bring it up some to where it looks like we can still kind of see, but it's not so out of focus that we can't tell what it is. Okay, looks pretty good. So his name's good. We're just gonna change this to where it's going. Network. And that's just gonna fade in and out. Looks pretty good. I still want to probably adjust him some. I feel like he's still a little bit too cold for the scene. So let's come back over here and I could keep bringing the temperature up. I should have shot it in RAW RAW gives me the ability to tweak, the actual color temperature and make it more warm, but we'll make it work. We'll just come into our midtones and kind of increase the warmth a little bit. Highlights, we can kind of keep a little blue. Shadows will probably bring warm. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'll probably just bring up the temperature some more. Looking better. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like he's settled in. Awesome. And of course, people are going to know it's green screen, but at least it looks better than just a plain background that's behind him. So now the next thing that we're going to do is edit the audio. So the audio was recorded with a boom mic, and while it sounds pretty good just right out of the gate, what we're going to do is make it sound better. Now, Adobe has a awesome program that you can use called Adobe Podcast. And what it will do is it will take any audio that you have and pretty much make it sound 100 times better. Again, it's using AI technology. So what I'm going to do is set my out point here, and then I'm going to come to the Deliver tab, and then I just want to export the audio only. So I'm going to just call it Christmas Greeting Draft. Desktop's fine. It's just doing my audio, not the video. And it has to be in MP3 format for Adobe to use it. Give me just a minute. And then we'll hit render. It's only going to render out the audio. And then we'll come over to Safari and go to, I have a shortcut here, but it's podcast.adobe.com. And I think you have to have an account with Adobe already, but if you don't have one, I would get one. It's like maybe $40, $50 a month to use, but I would absolutely encourage it. So you'll go over here to where it says Enhance Speech, and then you're going to drag your file. So see, I've already done it to a previous one, but choose your file. Should already be done on our desktop. We'll make sure that it's completely done. It is. So Christmas greeting, upload, and it's going to start to work on enhancing the speech. I'll delete that one. And it doesn't take long, especially for short videos like this. This one's probably 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. It's going to make the audio sound 100% better. So as soon as that gets done, we'll play it and see what it sounds like. And I'm probably going to use it on this video. So what you're hearing with me, I'm recording to a Rode wireless microphone, a lapel mic, and I'll probably upload this audio to be enhanced as well. So let's listen to it real quick. So it sounds really good. Now the only thing is it makes it sound a little too good, kind of like it's like a podcast. So I'm going to dial the strength back a little bit and hear what that sounds like now. Still sounds pretty good. I'm going to drop it some more. There we go. Sounds like there's a little bit of breathing room in there. Sounds like he's in an actual room, not speaking directly into a mic. So I like that. I'm going to hit download. So there it is. We'll just say enhanced. Go find the file. Come back to here. Go back to our editor. And then drag the enhanced in. And then we're just going to drag it down and put it in our timeline. So what I'm going to do is lock that track and that track. Going to bring that up. I'm going to bring this one down, and it should line up exactly with it because I exported it from beginning to end. Okay, so let's take a listen. Need to mute that. Sounds pretty good. So let's listen to the original. Okay, switching back. So it sounds pretty good. All right. So now that our audio is good, now you can come in here to, the equalizer and do all, whatever. But like to me, you're just spending too much time on that. If it's really bad audio and you have to fix it to make it better, then you can use this. But this is just a quick, short video that people get to watch. And most people are watching on their phones. This isn't going out to the world. It's not going on iTunes or Spotify. It isn't, some people spend a whole lot of time making tweaks to things that really don't matter. So don't spend too much time or wasting your time on stuff that really isn't going to be noticed. This does a good job. The podcast Enhance does a great job at just getting it to a good sound overall. So now what we're going to want to do is just make sure that it fades in. So that's a little bit too long. Let's cut it back some. Try that out. So that's pretty good. Its name comes up. What we'll probably have to do as well is that should be the transition out. Yep. So this works that. And perfect. So let's cut out that last little section. And then we're out. So fantastic. So I like to just cut things where I know it's out. Leave a little bit of black at the end. That's fine. Doesn't really matter. Always save. And then probably what I'll do here is go and find an audio track. So it's not just him talking. We subscribe to a place called Artlist. You can get a lot of royalty-free music from here. It's a subscription-based program. So we'll find something that's kind of like warm holiday. I don't like to use anything with vocals. Use instrumental. Alright, so this one sounds pretty good. I'm going to download just an MP3 of this. If you were, doing something really special, you could use a WAV, but MP3 is fine. It's a smaller format. We'll save it to our desktop because we know where it's at. Kind of open it, drag it in. And then let's bring our audio. Could technically get rid of this. That's probably what I'll do. Now, the one thing that Adobe has that Davinci doesn't have is a remix tool that makes the audio fit the exact time that you want it to. That's one thing that Adobe does really great. I could do that. I could export this, open it up into Adobe Premiere and do that. But for the sake of this, probably what I'm going to do is just bring this to the end, because more importantly, we want it to end nicely with a nice bow. Then we want it to start. We can always fade in the music, but when music ends on an awkward loop or repeat, it just doesn't sound right. So what we'll do is just fade this in, and we're automatically going to have to bring the audio down. We'll see what this sounds like. So it sounds pretty good. Let's hear what the ending sounds like. That was a nice little ending. Worked out just right. Awesome. Okay, so I set my out point there. I think everything looks pretty good, sounds pretty good. So let's go to deliver, and then we're gonna come over. We'll do H264. We'll do RGN Christmas greeting. Again, desktop's fine. I move all this stuff later. Video, QuickTime, it's in 1080. All of the basics are fine. Add to the render queue. Render. Let that take a minute to export. Okay, that's done. So let's go take a look. Here it is. And play. Looks good so far. Let's just check the end. And boom, there you have it. And then after you're done, you just upload that to either YouTube or Vimeo or your social media, wherever. And then you have a nice video. So altogether, that would probably take me, 20 to 30 minutes. I know I was doing the tutorial, which was showing more of what was happening. But yeah, that's just pretty much how we do a talking head greeting with a green screen. And yeah, if you have any questions, let us know, leave a comment, and we'll try to get back to you.